I'm recording 2 videos back to back wearing the same outfit, and to be able to differentiate really easily which one is which, I'm just using this dog. Say hello to Willow. Say hello to Willow. Willow, who did you think deserved to win the Oliviers? You can go now. So, the Olivier Awards just happened yesterday. I was watching along, totally not using a VPN to be able to watch the entire ceremony from the UK, and I have thoughts. It's very clear who the favourite of the night was, and the gap between the biggest winner and the second biggest winner is immense. So let's talk about what happened at the Olivier Awards, my thoughts on the winners, who I thought got snubbed, and some things I'd like to see for next year. But if you haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Ellie. I talk about theatre. I am the most chaotic theatre person on the internet. I do reviews, I do discussions, I do video essays, and if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. But let's dive into the Olivier Awards 2024. So I think the obvious place to start is with Sunset Boulevard's sweep. My lord. I don't think I have ever seen an Olivier Awards where the gap between the biggest win and the second biggest win is this big. Every other show that won got 2 or 1 award each. Sunset Boulevard got 7 awards. This does mean that Sunset Boulevard is the 4th musical to join the ranks of the most awarded musical at the Olivier Awards. This title is now joined with 2 musicals and 2 revivals. We have Sunset Boulevard, obviously, but also the 2021 production of Cabaret, Matilda, and Hamilton all won 7 awards. It is not the show that's won the most Oliviers, as that is a whopping 9 awards that sadly went to a show that I'm not talking about on this channel. But if you really want to know, it's currently playing at the Palace Theatre. Sunset Boulevard just absolutely dominated the night, winning at Best Revival, Best Actor for Tom Francis, Best Actress for Nicole Scherzinger, Best Director, Best Lighting Design, Sound Design, and Musical Contribution. It was just head and shoulders above everyone else. It felt like Sunset Boulevard's night. And after watching that, I would be absolutely terrified if I found myself in the same Tony season as Sunset Boulevard next year. And I've got to say, for a production that is so strong, I think it did deserve all of these awards. While I think there were other shows that I was rooting for in different categories, I can't deny that all of these awards are well justified. It was a clear standout revival, both actor and actress. Despite being some of the toughest categories, these 2 performers were just above and beyond in Sunset Boulevard. Tom Francis also for the night, in a surprise that they didn't actually announce before the awards, recreating his version of Sunset Boulevard where he normally walks outside the Savoy, doing it starting outside of the Royal Albert Hall and walking inside through the foyer, through the aisles, and into the actual auditorium. A Olivier Award performance that I feel like we're going to be talking about for a long time after this night. So was it a surprise that this night was very much dominated by Sunset Boulevard? No. But that doesn't mean that they were the only winners of the night, as we have to discuss our new best musical, our reigning champion, Operation Mincemeat. I am so glad that this show has been recognised so heavily by the Olivier Awards. Not only winning Best New Musical, but also getting Best Supporting Actor in a Musical for Jack Malone. A performance as Hester that is so moving and so impactful that you sit there after watching Dear Bill just in awe of the absolute emotional rollercoaster you've just been on. This was a tough year for musicals. There were so many musicals that weren't even nominated this year that could have won in another year. Things like Just One Day, The Witches, and Operation Mincemeat, starting as a piece of fringe theatre, going up against heavy hitter Broadway transfers like A Strange Loop, going up against shows that we have been demanding in London for ages like Next to Normal, and coming out on top is a really beautiful cherry on top of the success story of this show. And I think definitely this show winning the Olivier is giving even more fuel to a potential Broadway transfer, to more productions happening, to maybe even potentially UK tours. I'm hoping that this is the kind of launching pad for Operation Mincemeat to really allow itself to fly. Some well-deserved Olivier Awards and a beautiful reigning champion to have. We can also talk about some of the plays that got 2 wins as well. Most notably, I want to talk about Dorian Gray, who won in both of the categories they were nominated in. This is the only show of the season to gain multiple wins in every single category they were nominated in. Dorian Gray picked up both costume and the award for Best Actress for Sarah Snook. Meaning that I really need to win this weekly lottery on Today Ticks already so I can go and see this show, because it's got 2 Oliviers. It won both of its categories. And honestly, the more when I was researching this show and looking into this production a little bit more for my last video, my survival guide, I'm just so intrigued by this production. Dear England was up for 9 awards and won in 2 of them, picking up Best Supporting Actor for Will Close and Best New Play, an award that happened surprisingly early into the night. I was fully expecting it to be like the second to last award, but no, they were just like, yeah, it's Best New Play, and I was like, already? Giving a well-deserved Olivier to James Graham for his fantastic work on that play. It was really nice to also see at the end of the ceremony them do a nice celebration of the National Theatre, which was led by Joseph Fiennes, who played Gareth Southgate in that production. A production which started, previous to a Western transfer, in the Olivier Theatre at the National. A really beautiful tribute that they have posted now on their YouTube channel. So if you want to see any of the performances that I mentioned in today's video, you can go over to the official London Theatre YouTube channel and watch them there. The other multiple winning show of the evening was Stranger Things. Now, it didn't have as heavy or as strong as an Olivier season as we thought that it might have done, especially when comparing it to the other IP-based show, which, again, will not be named, which is the most awarded show in Olivier's history. Stranger Things did something that Totoro did last year, which I've never been a massive fan of, where it's put itself into Best Entertainment rather than going into Best New Play. Nonetheless, it seemed like a smart decision for Stranger Things as it won in that category and also picked up the award for Best Set. Not the design element of the show that I thought was going to be picked up upon and given the award. I thought they were actually more likely to win lighting or sound, which did end up going to Sunset Boulevard. I guess that was harder competition for it, but ended the night with 2 strong awards. Although I do wish that this show had been given a nomination for Best Leading Actor for Lewis McCartney, who is phenomenal in that show, even though it's a show that I've never really been overly enthused by, despite being myself a massive Stranger Things fan. We then have a lot of solo wins to talk about. There's obviously Vanya, which picked up Best Play Revival, beating some really tough competition in Macbeth, Shirley Valentine, and another Jamie Lloyd show, which is kind of overshadowed by the Sunset Boulevard of it all, The Effect. There was also a posthumous win for Hayden Gwynn, a legend of the theatre scene who is dearly, dearly missed. And this award was accepted by Hayden's sons, who delivered a really beautiful tribute to her. If you're asking me my favourite speech of the night, it actually came from the winner of Best Affiliate Theatre, as Sleepover won, and we got this fantastic speech calling out the ticket prices for the Oliviers and also championing and celebrating women, people of colour, and queer people. I think a lot of us were extremely shocked when Arlene Phillips won for Best Choreography and revealed that this was her first Olivier win. Now, this statement is technically true. She hasn't won for a specific show. She has been given a Lifetime Achievement Award before, but at 80 years old, this is the first time she's been nominated for a show and won, specifically in this case for Guys and Dolls. But the award I want to speak about a little bit, and the one I'm so glad, is the Little Big Things solo win for Best Supporting Actress for Amy Trigg. Amy Trigg, in that show, made it. She was such a standout. Immediately when I left that show, when I left the Little Big Things, I was like, Amy Trigg absolutely needs a supporting actress nomination. And it's another example of a underdog British musical climbing up and gaining a win in the biggest theatre award shows. I think the Little Big Things was so important, especially for representation, especially in a theatre industry where we struggle with accessibility. A lot of the West End is closed off to wheelchair users, and so many theatres even struggle to get them onto stage. A theatre like at Soho Place, which is fully accessible, is a sad rarity. And it's really beautiful to see this show be able to be celebrated, especially for somebody in the cast who has a disability. Now, should Ed Larkin have also been nominated for Best Leading Actor? 100%, I can't believe he wasn't. And also a supporting actress for Lindsay Hatley wouldn't have gone astray. But talking of shows that I wish had got nominated as well, let's move on to some of the robberies of the night. I'm going to talk about a little bit of a mixture of shows that I wish had got more nominations and ones that I assumed would win and didn't end up gaining any awards. First up, Bluey's Big Play. Forget Sunset Boulevard Suite. Bluey's Big Play. I haven't seen it. Alright, in all seriousness now, although I would have loved to see Bluey's Big Play win Best Family Show, the biggest surprise for me was Next to Normal not picking up any awards. To be fair, it was nominated in all of the toughest categories of the night. Best Leading Actress, which was like a full-on bloodbath, which Nicole Scherzinger came out on top of. But even the other nominees in that category, Natasha Hodgson for Operation Mincemeat, and Marisha Wallace, who in my humble opinion is long overdue an Olivier Award. This was a tough category for Casey Levy. As well as that, Best Supporting Actor and Actress. Eleanor Worthington Cox up against some fierce competition, as well as Jack Wolf. If you had asked me before my predictions, which I did do, not in the video, I did it for myself, I got 14 out of 22 and I was very proud of that. I thought that Jack Wolf was 100% going to win for Best Supporting Actor. I would have put good money down on that, although I wouldn't have because I don't have any. But it was so lovely to see the other Jack in that category get a win. I do wish that Next to Normal had a little bit more of a chance in this show. I think it's a fantastic musical which really deserves some love. But I do find it very funny how both at the Tonys and the Oliviers, Next to Normal has lost to a British show both times. Originally, they were in the season nominated against Shrek and Billy Elliot won, and now it's lost to Operation Mincemeat. Fierce competition both times. As well as that, I was severely surprised that Guys and Dolls didn't get as much love as it did. Being the second most nominated show joint with Dear England, I expected it to pick up at least 2 more awards. And honestly, choreography was not the one I personally expected. But I do think it's lovely that it managed to get that. The choreography in Guys and Dolls is really well done, especially in a space where it's hard to get choreography into. This very immersive space where the stage is constantly moving and changing. But again, I feel like this was partly down to a Next to Normal syndrome, being up in categories where it was very difficult to get the wins. Because just everyone in those categories deserved it. As well as that, A Strange Loop was weirdly robbed of the night. It was really sad to see that most of the cast weren't even invited to the awards. The performance of the night being done by the show's writer instead, similar to what they did at West End Live. But only being up for Best Musical, this show deserved a lot of love in more acting categories as well. It's really strange to see the show not get any love over here when it was absolutely awarded in Broadway. And talking of shows that were awarded on Broadway but were really overshadowed here, Hadestown. Melanie, Gloria, even though she was nominated as well, Grace from that cast all deserved nominations as well. And Rachel Chavkin's direction and so many categories that they could have got into that sadly they didn't find themselves in. Because of their previous eligibility 5 years ago in the Best Musical category that they weren't even nominated in, this show sadly found itself in Best Revival. Which made sense, but also was a bit of a shame. Because with such a heavy hitter cast and a production that's been refined and refined again, I feel like it deserved a little bit more love. That I feel like maybe it will find in other award shows, like the Watson Stage Awards next year. One of the few plays on my list as well, The Hills of California. Now, they did get a nomination in 2 categories, which I really wanted them to, both Best New Play and a leading actress nomination for Laura Donnelly. But this was an absolutely phenomenal play that didn't get as much love as The Ferryman before it, also written by Jez Butterworth. I mean, honestly, that set with the staircase going all the way up to the ceiling, that's my best set winner. Actually, no, they can have the Olivier Award if they let me walk up to the top of that staircase. I would be terrified, but also that would be so cool. And finally, a show that I wish got more love was Crazy for You. I was really surprised to see this not get a nomination for Best Musical Revival. It did get 2 very valid nominations in choreography and for Charlie Stemp, who sadly didn't win this year. And when are we giving him an Olivier? I swear we just got a list of people who just need Oliviers, and Charlie Stemp is high on that list. Maybe he'll get supporting for Kiss Me Kate. A girl can dream. But with some of the best choreography of the year, I was very surprised to not see it win that category. And finally, with a lot of that said, let's talk about next year. Because I feel like there's been a lot of push for extra categories to be added to the Oliviers, and I want to give my opinion on some of these. First off, there's been a big campaign to get wigs, hair, and makeup, or otherwise known as WAM, get a specific award in the Oliviers. And I definitely agree with this. I feel like we need to be celebrating these different elements of theatre. If not with a separate award, at least put it into and give specific nominations into costume as well. Another one a lot of people are campaigning for is separating book and score of a musical into different categories. Score of a musical used to have a category, but it was mixed with orchestrations. This year, for some reason, they decided to make that category just be about orchestrations and push score of a musical into the Best New Musical category. But I don't think this gives enough space to celebrate the lyricists, the composers, and the book writers, who all definitely deserve their own award and their own moment to shine. As well as that, I would really like to see the Oliviers introduce non-gender specific acting categories. I've made a whole video before, which I still stand by, which you can go and watch. I'll leave a link to it in the description, talking about the different solutions of what they could do with non-gender categories. Splitting it by dramatic performance or comedic performance, and splitting it by genre instead of gender makes a lot more sense. But these are all arguments I've laid out before. I would also like to see some awards that already exist be split from musicals and plays. There's so many that I could talk about here, but the one I really think needs to be done is Director of a Musical. This year, 3 plays were nominated for Best Direction and 1 musical. And there's so much beautiful work that happened this year which wasn't recognized for Best New Musical. Guys and Dolls, Crazy for You, Hadestown, all of these shows that had absolutely gorgeous direction, which sadly, because the category is so wide, couldn't be properly celebrated. But that's my campaign over. Next year, we have so many shows to look forward to. So many musicals that we don't even know about yet, which we'll find out and love soon enough. With Broadway transfers like MJ and Mean Girls, new revivals like Starlight Express and Kiss Me Kate, and of course brand new British musicals like the long-awaited West End transfer of Benjamin Button and Kathy and Stella Solve a Murder. We have so much to look forward to. And on the play side, we have like Doctor Strangelove, Boys from the Black Stuff, the revival of People, Places and Things, and of course another Jamie Lloyd production which could get a massive sweep next year, Romeo and Juliet? For that, we're going to have to wait a full year and see. But what do you think? Who is your favourite winner of the night? Who do you think was snubbed of the award? Let me know all of your Olivier Awards 2024 thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram. Drop me a follow over there. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!